Hi, everybody. Let's get started then. So welcome. Some of you may know my name is Chloe. I am part of the product team here at Totara, and today I'm very happy to be joined by Dasha, and Alexander says hello, Dasha, who will be talking to us today about the topic of curation and how our new product, Totara Engage, will be able to foster peer-to-peer learning within organizations. She'll be sharing the work that has been done to date in this area, and you'll have an opportunity to ask her questions about this. We'll be showing you a series of pre-recorded videos of Dasha using Totara Engage, so just so you know, everything that she's going to show you is live production code. The webinar is part of a series of product webinars, as you might know by now, just really designed to show our partners a bit about the work that we've been doing in different areas of products and features so far. The goal is really to enable you to prepare for our major release later this year and let you know as much information as possible so you can be better equipped to inform your subscribers and potential subscribers about what is coming up. I'm sure, like we said, we're going to share some of those details with potential customers, but on the whole, these webinars, the recordings are designed for partners, so we ask that they're kept just within the partner network. Some housekeeping, as usual. Questions as we go are all welcome within the comments area, and I'll keep an eye on those for Dasha, and we'll address them as we go through. If we don't have an exact response to one of those questions, we'll be sure to get the answer for you and let you know in the product webinar, the product updates forum after this, the answer to those. Like we said, the webinar is going to be recorded to ensure that all partners get access to the same information, and we'll post that link in the partner area with this recording. If you don't already, please do subscribe to the product updates forum in the community. It's the easiest way for us all to just get in touch with you and speak directly to you on an ad hoc basis around all of this, and also engage with you, pun intended. All right, so let's hand over now to Dasha.
Thanks, Chloe. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm really excited to show you this part of Totara Engage. This is the second webinar in the series, and we're going to continue showing you more cool stuff in future. So let's jump straight into it. A quick recap of what happened at last webinar. It was about Totara Engage, our brand new learning experience platform, or LXP as the usual marketing term for it goes. Totara Engage is the part of Totara platform that focuses on delivering a personalized learning experience, and it is fully powered by people. It focuses on self-driven learning and personalization, provided and supported by recommendations engines and targeted communication. It also provides the full range of features to facilitate user content generation, peer-to-peer learning, collaboration, and engagement. If you'd like to hear more about Totara Engage with an overarching view of it, we'll add the link to the webinar that we did back in December. So feel free to view that again with some highlights of other functionality in Totara Engage.
I just added that one into the comments for anybody looking for it.
Awesome. Cool, thank you. And one little thing from our last webinar, just to reiterate, Totara Engage is standing on 6 very important pillars as we define them. It's discovery, curation, collaboration, recognition, integrations, and reporting. And today, as Chloe mentioned, we're going to speak about one of its fundamental parts, curation. So what is curation and why is it important? The core of any learning experience platform lies in the power of user-generated content and human curation. Curation is the process of taking various pieces of knowledge or creating new ones and putting them into the context that will help other people learn from your experience and expertise. And now it's more important than ever because the learning paradigm changed in the last 10 years and the way we learn changed. It's no longer a problem to find information. The problem is that there's too much of it and we struggle to identify high quality one that's reliable and can be trusted, or sometimes simply put together for us. Exactly like on Spotify, it's not a problem to find the right song, but we want playlists with similar songs to listen to and that we'll like. So what is curation in Totara world? With Totara Engage, we're trying to give the power of learning to people, and one of the ways of doing this is helping people share knowledge and curate it for their peers, very similar to creating playlists on Spotify. It is hard to underestimate the value of human curation. Unlike machines, we know the context of our workplace and how we can contribute to making it better. And as a result, we get recognized as subject matter experts, which helps us to advance in our careers. Just imagine a person who recently got promoted to a manager curating information for their new team, or an engaged leadership team creating resources after the recently taken course and trying to bring their knowledge to the team, or a company running a promotion of a new service or policy for the employees and curating the content about the service to facilitate adopting it, or even a curated content about soft skills and how to improve communication practices to make the company collaborate better. Totara Engage makes this curation process really easy and seamless. So let's look how it works for users. First of all, with Totara Engage, users will discover a whole new area where they can interact with the system. It's called library. Is it playing? I am not sure that the video is playing.
Yep. Press one more time. No.
That's the next one. I'm sorry, we're having a bit of technical thing here. Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
And the video is playing. Awesome. So the library. And the user's library is made up of a few things. First of all, the content that you have created, the content that was shared with you, and the content you have saved yourself. There's a search available at the top that will help you search through your library, and also filters and sorting. Let's look into the resource creation flow. First of all, resource is very similar to what you might find on Medium or any other blogging platform. A resource in Totara Engage could be an article from a salesperson with the tips and tricks for their peers, or a quarterly update from the CEO, or something like a research use case from the analyst, or simply like an analysis or opinion on the provided article or video. So start creating the resource by pressing this plus sign on the left-hand menu. With the first release, the user will have access to two types of items, resources and surveys, and we're planning to extend this list in future. After entering the title, users can begin creating content which could include rich text, attached images, embedded media, or links to the resources in the internet. During the next step, users should choose who they want to share their resource with everyone, with some specific people, or keep it private if it's a draft. For all the publicly shared resources, the authors should choose the time it will take viewers to read the resource and assign topics. Topics are themes created by the administrators to keep content well organized and easily findable. We'll look into it a bit later. They can also share the resource with specific people or workspaces, which is optional. If you share a resource with specific people, they will get a notification that there was an item shared with them, and it will appear in their library. So what is the value of the resource compared to a link sent in the Microsoft Teams or Slack or any other messengers? Resources in Totara Engage are organized and kept in libraries and shared within the safe and secure system. They're extremely easy to find and save and to come back to them when necessary. They're easy to collaborate around them. And the comment section helps keep all the related conversations, right next to the resource itself. Chloe, do we have any questions so far?
We do not. We have a quiet audience so far. If you guys are just digesting that, let us know if you have questions as you go. Oh, we have one question here. It says, hello, can you give perms to view by audience? I guess you mean permissions, Ellie. So asking, can you group different resources and you only see a set of resources based on an audience at the moment?
Not based on an audience at the moment, but all the roles that exist in Totara Learn will have the capabilities to access the creation of resources or playlists.
Yeah. And if I'm not wrong, it's not something that we're necessarily looking into in this particular webinar, but we do have a webinar upcoming around workspaces,
Yes.
which is another way to group users in a more collaborative way. So watch this space on that one, Ellie. There might be, the use case that you're looking for might be covered in a slightly different way to audiences.
Yeah, that's correct.
She says thanks.
Awesome. Thank you for the question. Then let's look into what a resource looks like for a user. For a user, there's this big area with the resource, and people can download the attachments or view the embedded videos straight from that area. There's also the side panel where they can share the resource, see the people who liked or shared it, add it to your playlist. You can also go to the comments section and mention other users in the area where people can talk about this resource. So this is pretty much it. And if there are no other questions for the resources, we'll go to the surveys.
I have one comment to make just to kind of compliment on this, if that's okay. You guys will see this kind of format here, and that you saw that Dasha really didn't have to put in a lot of work in order to make this still look good. So just a note that we're trying to improve consistency across these types of resources to ensure that you have similar looking things across the site and they're all formatted well, especially since it will be opening up like beyond trainers or learning designers. Like if everyone can create stuff, we want to make sure it's all neat and tidy. So this is being designed purposely like that, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Thanks, Chloe. Going to the surveys. The creation of the surveys has never been easier, and we know how painful it could be. People initiate creation of the survey from the same window where the resources are, and surveys consist of one question. And you can enter the question or statement, then select the type of answers that are going to be accepted, either one answer or multiple answers. Then add your options for answers. You can currently add up to 10. And proceed with selecting who you're sharing the survey with. And that is pretty much it for the creation of the survey. For the viewers, there are two modes, voting and viewing results. Voting is a pretty straightforward process. Users can vote only once, and then they see the results of the survey. In future, we plan to extend this survey functionality with various interesting features like expiration dates, recurring surveys, and the option to hide the results from the participants. Surveys are perfect as standalone items to collect people's opinions. For instance, if you want to know if the employees prefer working from home or from the office. as group surveys in specific workspaces, or they're even a more perfect fit for the playlists. We'll look into that in just a little bit. Do you have any questions related to the surveys?
Not quite yet, but I just thought, Ellie, coming back to Ellie's question again about giving permissions for view per audience. As you can see, when Dasha showed a bunch of surveys and showed resources, you can share with specific individuals too. So there's that there as well. So just this is it's called limited people, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's various different ways. Yeah. No more questions.
No more questions. Awesome. So
one question, might as well before we go on.
Yep.
Kyla asked, is there going to be an option for multiple questions in a single survey?
And further releases, yes. We'll be looking into the option to add more questions.
Right. These are supposed to be like very quick.
Yes. Yeah. Like pulse surveys with like quick question, quick answer.
Yeah. Because he's so Alexander then asked, is it correct to assume there is no relationship between the survey in Engage and feedback activities in courses in Learn?
No. Activities in courses in Learn are powered by administrators, and this is formal learning. Whereas Engage, Totara Engage is the system where ordinary people, where end users and learners are creating the surveys.
Yeah. So really, there's very different use cases for both of these. So that's why at the moment it's very quick and easy to use, and it's very different from a more comprehensive feedback, like Alexander says. Alexander says, all good, thanks, like it.
Yes, awesome. So let's then take a look into playlists and see how surveys can be added to playlists and used there. Oh, that was our question slide. So playlists. The process of the playlist creation is really simple. All people need to do is to enter the title and the description, what the playlist is about, and it's ready. All the creation of playlists and resources is done from this page where users lover is, in where we were trying to make the UX very consistent and very easy for people to use and to make no mistakes while going through this process. So by default, all the playlists are created private. In this way, we're protecting people from having empty playlists in the learning catalog. So whenever you're ready, you can change the access settings from the side panel. From there, you can either add a resource to the playlist from within the playlist, or you can add an existing resource via its side panel. We're planning on extending this functionality to make adding resources to the playlist even easier. Otherwise, the comment section and the side panel is pretty similar to the one that I've just shown you in the resources. And the only difference is that playlist gets star ratings and not likes. It gives more understanding of the quality of the playlist. So what are the examples of playlist? A playlist could be a thematic collection of articles, for example, recipes from the chef for a seasonal menu for the hospitality network, or a series of articles about visited conferences with the main highlights from those conferences. Or, for instance, a collection of videos from YouTube about the competitive products and the analysis of those. Or even like a complementary onboarding materials to make the new hire's life easier and add a little bit of fun to the standard onboarding process. Next thing is the learning catalog. So public resources as well as playlists can be found in the learning catalog. Search catalog has the new settings to include and configure new types of content that come with Totara Engage, and also new filters that users can add to be able to narrow down their search results. This was a conscious choice that we made with adding resources and playlists to the learning catalog, because from learners' perspective, when they're trying to find the answer to their questions, they don't really know what they're looking for. and finding everything that a system has under the one place, under the learning catalog, is pretty convenient, because from there you can jump either on the course if you find it fitting your purposes better, or reading a resource, or going through the series of resources within the playlist.
Mhm. So is this a good time for questions?
Yep.
So we have a couple of questions here from Georgina. I'm gonna ask the slightly easier one first.
Okay.
So with the library, will it be configurable to not include playlists and resources if we don't want to?
Yes. We'll include the configuration options to turn resources, playlists, surveys on or off via the advanced settings. So we're trying to make sure that we'll fit all the various contexts and organization types.
Yeah. And Georgina, in the Find Learning settings that you currently have, you can turn off certifications if you want to. These are just extra checkboxes on that first page. So you can just turn them off if you decide you don't want them to be there and you only want formal learning to be there. Another question from Ellie. Can you add courses to playlists, or is it just resources from the library?
So far, you can add only resources, but you can create a resource with the link to the course inside resource that will effectively be the link to the course. So it's a bit tricky now, but we are working on it, and we'll be looking into the possibility of adding courses into the playlist based on the partners' feedback that we'll get after the release.
Yeah, watch this space, Ellie. She kind of asked a follow-up question, which I think you kind of answer here, and she says, can you link a playlist from a course? I guess this would just be utilizing URLs. There's no specific in-product linking mechanism. It's more about URLs in that case.
It's on our roadmap to add playlists possibly as another activity type to courses, so that formal learning would be complemented by informal learning. So that is sitting on our roadmap, and we're going to probably reprioritize that based on the partner feedback and the features that our partners will find valuable. So we'll be readdressing that on a regular basis.
We've built the foundations to make this happen, so we will continue. She said, awesome, sounds good. We have lots of questions coming in.
Nice. That's great.
So Kyla asks, could you add playlists within playlists?
Not at this point, but we thought that it actually might be a use case where people could try and collect a collection of playlists. So this is also on our roadmap, so we'll be looking into this later on.
Thank you. Okay, let's go for the more complex question here. Will Engage also take into account the multi-tenancy of Totara? So if I belong to tenant A, will I be able to see content created by tenant B, vice versa?
No, Engage is the part of Totara platform, and again, from the user's perspective, it's one and the same product. Everything that belongs to tenant A will be visible only within the limits of tenant A. So that's where Engage completely complies with tenant's structure and follows the tenant's rules.
Awesome. Great. I hope that helps, Georgina. When you're able to get access to this, you'll be able to test all out your use cases and everything like that. Okay, I think that we're good to continue. Please do keep asking your questions. It's really helpful for us, and we'll get to them after the next section.
So the next section is topics. This is something that we mentioned previously. As mentioned previously, all the public resources and playlists have to be assigned a topic. This will help people categorize and find content easily. Topics can be created or managed only by a user with needed capabilities. This helps to maintain a clean and organized list and prevent users from adding thousands and thousands of topics. And to add new ones, you just go to the topic management page, add necessary ones, and save the list. Simple as that. And Also, you can add topics as filters in the learning catalog, and thus, this way, you'll be able to filter the content if you're interested in one specific topic.
Awesome. One question. Ready?
Yeah, go for it.
So Russell asks, hi Russell, is it correct that incorporating external resources at this time, such as created in a workplace by Facebook, would be a URL only at this stage? So this is asking about external integrations, pretty much. Maybe Facebook, YouTube, whatever.
Yes, for now, the resources include basically a link if it's an external resource. And later on, we'll be looking into integrations with external libraries. Probably we are exploring this option, but for now, yes, if you want to include the resource from LinkedIn or Facebook, you have to start creating the resource from Engage, add the link. Links will have different kinds of displays. It can be displayed either as a text link or as a card to make it visually a bit more attractive. And then this is basically the resource.
And I think an important thing to mention here, correct me if I'm wrong, Dasha, but adding embedded videos is so much easier at this stage. It's actually a lot easier than the within courses at the moment with the use of the new editor, which we'll talk about in future and why we've done all of this, but really trying to make it super easy for a user so it actually won't be just a URL like Dasha says. It will look good too.
Yeah. So with adding YouTube videos, basically you copy paste the link from YouTube into the resource, and for the viewer it will look like an embedded player, and they can start playing video straight from the resource. No redirections, no other things. It looks like an embedded player within the resource.
Yeah, this is great. Okay, I think you can move on.
One last thing that I actually wanted to mention today as well is that there's a great course on Totara Academy with examples and use cases put together by our amazing academy team. It has the real life example of the company not using and then using Totara Engage and how it helps them in their day-to-day processes, unlike LMS things that is more of a process course to course basis or certification and recertification basis. Totara Engage is actually a day-to-day tool. And this course will also help you understand the issues of engagement and how engagement and performance are related, and collaboration issues, and how Totara Engage can actually help you solve all those issues.
I put a link to that course in the chat there if anybody wants to go and check it out. I think primarily it's really important here that that organizations learn what they need to do to engage their companies and their employees first, and Totara Engage is just a tool that's going to facilitate these kinds of things. So having Totara Engage alone is not going to solve all of your problems necessarily. It's just like having an LMS doesn't necessarily fix all of your compliance right away. It's all about understanding the people, and that course is really good. We have one more question from Alexander. Do we have a data entity relationship diagram available showing the relationships between various data elements in Engage, or maybe a high-level use case diagram or glossary of terms doc? That would also be interesting.
So first things first, I'm sure that there's a diagram with data entity dependencies. It's quite a technical document, and I'll ask my development team to make it kind of good looking and all that. So I can email it directly to people who need it. I'm not sure if it's going to be under the official help documentation, but I can easily send it out. Number 2, glossary. There is a glossary for Totara Engage. Again, it's not yet on the help documentation, and currently it's being used internally, but with the release Totara Engage will have all the standard help documents that Totara Learn has, and the glossary will be included as the part of that.
Alexander says thank you. Doesn't need to be pretty. I've messaged you those questions and email address so that you can take a look at that later.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for that, Alexander. Okay, so we've gotten to the end of our content here. So if anybody has any more questions, please speak now. We'll stay on the line for a couple of minutes if anybody is typing. If not, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Okay, so one question here. When will partners get access? So partners will get access to all of the Totara code from 1st of September. That is the goal. Yeah. It will be a candidate release, so that we can all do QA together and make sure that everything's working with you so that you can prepare for
answer questions
release.
and help with adoption.
Absolutely. Alexander says, very useful, thank you. Is there an evergreen version? We only have our development branches at the moment, Alexander. They're not going out to partners until the 1st of September. Austin says thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any other questions or use cases or scenarios that you think are probable, likely, and people ask you about, please feel free to post them on forum or reach out to me via email. I'll be super happy to get any additional info. And yes, as I've mentioned previously, we have an extensive roadmap because there's only as much as we can do, but we'll happily review the priorities on our roadmap if we get the consistent feedback from our partners, like we need this, this is an awesome feature. So I'll be super happy to get any input from you.
Yeah, definitely. All right, thank you everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, cheers, thanks.